Hello, today our topic is robotics. In robotics, we will study first uh, uh, forward kinematics, inverse kinematics. Then we will see what is coordinate transformation rule, that is according to homogeneous transformation, and then finally we will see in detail about DH convention, Dynavit-Hartenberg convention. So let's start with the forward kinematics and inverse kinematics in robotics. So we know that in a robot we are having, it is made of manipulator. So we are having a link. So we can compare with our own hand here. It's like link, and this is the joint. Okay, so joint can be a revolute joint, means it can rotate, or it can be prismatic joint. It can slide. So here suppose we are having the two link robot, and here suppose it is. This is making an angle of theta 1, and this one is making angle with this one as theta 2. Okay, this length is L1 and this length is L2, and suppose here we are having the end effector. Like end effector is something like this, our on hand here. So this is end effector where we can pick the tool. So this is one link. This is another link. This is one joint. This is another joint. Both joints are revolute, and this is making angle with the horizontal theta 1. This is making angle with the horizontal theta 2. So here one problem is to find out what will be the coordinate of this point of end effector. We call it generally end effector. Okay, so this is end effector. Okay, so if suppose this is our origin here, and this is A, this is B, we can take here, or so here we can write. Can we write the coordinate of here B, or it is E, we can write here. So this is E, XE will be L1 cos theta 1 plus L2 cos of theta 1 plus theta 2. Similarly, what will be YE, coordinate of the end effector, Y coordinate. So it will be L1 sin theta 1 plus L2 sin theta 1 plus theta 2. So what we are seeing here, for a given angle, obviously link is fixed, link length is fixed, so we can vary the here angle theta 1 and theta 2. Accordingly we can get the different value of the end effector. Okay, because suppose we want to make a hole somewhere. Okay, so or we have to do some painting. What information is needed, right? So here what we need to know, that what is the coordinate of this end effector which is picking the tool. So for this one, we can imply this equation, and we can easily find out with the help of theta 1, theta 2, we can easily find what is the value of XE and YE. So this is called forward kinematics. So in forward kinematics, what we can see, theta 1, theta 2 given, and find XE, Y. Obviously it's a very simple problem, because only two degree of freedom is here. But if we imply like practical in industrial robot, Puma robot, or so many other robot like KUKA robot, here we see that like 6-7 degree of freedom is there. So in that case it is not that easy. Okay, so and the other thing we have to find out is, which is a bit more complex, is inverse kinematics. Inverse kinematics. So what is inverse kinematics? In inverse kinematics, the same equation holds good, but the problem here is finding out here given x e y e. So in factor coordinate is given, position is given, but what we have to find out, we have to find out theta 1 and theta 2. So in this case these are two linear equations. We know that we can put it in a matrix, and we can solve this one, right? We can inverse this matrix also, one matrix, and we can solve it. But one thing is, it will not give the unique solution. Here it will give, for a given value of theta 1 and theta 2, it will give a unique solution. But here it may not give the unique solution. Like there can be, for a given value here, and we can get two solutions, right? We can get two solutions. So two value of theta 1, this is theta 1 dash, and this is theta 2 dash. So we can get two values of theta. So that's why it's and we will see that inverse kinematics for 6-7 degree of freedom robot, it will be not easy, not that easy, and sometimes it's impossible to get the solution even. Okay, we employed different software, because this is not the job of, like, manually we can't do these things. Okay, so these are the two things in kinematics in robot and robotics. So first is forward kinematics, and the other one is inverse kinematics. Because it's kinematics, we are not talking about anything about the forces. We are only talking about displacement, then velocity and acceleration. Okay, so this was about forward kinematics and inverse kinematics. Now the next topic is homogeneous transformation. Okay, so in homogeneous transformation, what we do here, it's suppose we are having a we can take here, this is, we are having something, and from this is our here, and our origin here, and we are taking it here. Okay, so and we are changing its orientation also. This orientation also we are changing here, from here to here. So what this is 0 and this is A, suppose. So from here to here when we are going, so there are two things. One is we are translating it from here to here. Okay, so the other one is we are rotating it. Orientation is also changing. So for accommodating all these things with the help of homogeneous transformation matrix, we can, because we are more concerned about the matrix here, it will be used in the DS parameter, so DS convention. So what we can write here, it says that it's a 4x4 matrix. Okay, so here it is dx, dy, dz, then 1, because if suppose its coordinate is changing, this is x, if this is x, this is y, and this is g, then here this is dx and this is dy, and dz, suppose it is 15, so dx, dy, dz will be here, then 1 here, then this is 1, 1, 1. Okay, and this is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, so here 0, 0, 0. Okay, so it's a 4x4 matrix. So for transformation here, translation here, we can see that only three things are there. But for rotation, suppose we are rotating about x, and this is theta 1, then what we will do, then we have to put it here. It's and this one is 0 0, then 0 0 0. Okay. So here what we are doing here, in place of x here, so here this matrix is coming, and similarly for rotating about, suppose z theta 3 is here. So what we will do, we will put these things here. Okay, so it will be cos theta 3 minus sin theta 3, and then it will be sin theta 3, and then cos theta 3, and then this is 0, then this is 0 0 0 1, then 0 0 0 1 0 0 0. Okay, so this is the scheme here. Similarly we can write for the y also. So what it says that it in one transformation matrix it can accommodate all the information about the translational, we are moving it, the coordinate we are moving, at the same time we are having the information about the orientation also, how much we are revolving it about the x-axis or y-axis or the z-axis. One way to remember this one is, here because this is x, so this is x position, because 1 and this is 1, first row first column. So this one first one, if we consider 3 by 3, because here only all these things come. This is always, here we put 0 0 0 1, this one is always 0 0 1. Okay, so only 3 by 3 matrix we have to change according to given theta. So what we will do, if we are doing rotating about the x-axis, then we will not do anything with the 1 1, but we will change here cos theta 1 and minus sin theta 1, sin theta 1 and cos theta 1. Similarly for z-axis, so in z-axis here, this is the z position. So here cos theta 3 minus sin theta 3, sin theta 3, cos theta 3. Okay, so in this way we can write the transformation matrix. Now we will see that how it helps us in writing the DS convention. Okay. So our next topic is DH parameter or DH convention, we can say. So DH means Dinavitt-Hartenberg, and DH means Dinavitt-Hartenberg, and 1955 they came out with one, they proposed one convention for the robotics, and it says that it will contain, for transforming we don't need 6 parameters. We can, with the help of 4 parameters only, we can transform the coordinate from one axis to the other axis. Okay, so let's see what is Dinavitt-Hartenberg convention. So for this one, let's take one robotic manipulator, and suppose we are having here one it says that first, suppose these are the rotational axis. Okay, and these are the joints here, these are the joints, and it is connected, it is connecting the manipulator. So it's a link. So suppose this is the link n. Okay, so and this one it says that if this is the link n, then this will be we need to take this one as Zn-1 axis. Okay, and this one as Zn axis. Okay, so first step what we have to do, we have to write the z axis. Okay, and z axis is nothing but the axis of the joint, the rotatory axis of the joint. So first, if this is the link n, then it will be the Zn-1. Okay, this is joint n and joint n+1. Okay. Now this because we need three like coordinate axis z, x, y, and z. So we are having here z. So how to find out x? So for x, it says that what we have to do, we have to see that it should be take x axis perpendicular to this one. Okay, so how to take the perpendicular to this one and this one, two consecutive. So if we take here, so xn will be perpendicular to this one and perpendicular to this one. Okay, so this will be xn and away from it. Okay, so we can write that first take z axis along rotatory axis of joint. Okay, so that we have done. Second one is take xn axis perpendicular to joint, perpendicular to this joint, perpendicular to Zn-1 and z. So here we can see this is xn is perpendicular to this one and this one also. Okay, and accordingly third we can write that yn will be obviously it will be perpendicular to yn will be perpendicular to this one. So it's here if we take here, this is Zn axis, this is xn axis here. Okay, so this is Zn, this is xn. Now yn we can find out, right, because it is 90 degree. So x, y, so y will be like this way. So y, it is easy to find out y. And generally in DS parameter we don't need to deal with the y, because it's mostly we work in x and y, x and z only. Okay, so we don't need to write y, because anyway x and y, if we know x and z, we know what is the direction of y. Okay, so this is the convention for taking the coordinate axis. Okay, choosing the frame of reference. Now for how to transform from here to here, we want to transform here from this local system to this system. Okay, one coordinate scheme to another coordinate scheme. So how to do it? So for this one, first we have to write the coordinate scheme frame of reference here. Okay, so let's write frame of reference here. So it will be if we write the frame of reference, so first thing again what will be, we know what is Zn. So Z axis we know for this one. So what will be the xn minus 1? So accordingly we can see that from here we can see that xn minus 1 will be perpendicular to z n minus 2 and z n minus 1. So somewhere here z n minus 1 will be here, right? Z n minus 2 will be here. So it will be perpendicular to this one and this one. Okay, and it is okay. And the second thing is, now we have to rotate it so that it should be this one should be coming with this one in this plane only. Okay, so let's write it here. So first rule 1, then rule. So we can write. So first one is rotate about z minus 1 axis angle theta n so that x n minus 1 and x n becomes coplanar. Means, see, it's already perpendicular to this one, this axis. This axis is already perpendicular. So what we are doing here, we are revolving it with theta 1 n so that it should come in this way here. Okay, so it should come here, and this is perpendicular here, so this is also perpendicular. So what we have done here, also we have taken a coordinate system x n minus 1. So here now we are having, suppose this is O and this is O dash. We have to take this reference frame from O to O dash. So our basic idea is taking out this, transforming this O to O dash. So rotate about z minus 1 axis angle theta 1 so that xn become coplanar. Coplanar by why? Because this is this one is x minus n, xn minus 1 is perpendicular to this one, and this xn is also perpendicular. Okay, so if we revolve it, these both will be become parallel. It will become parallel. It will be parallel and coplanar here. Okay, the second scheme, what we want here, we want to take it from here to here. So it will be 4 steps. We will see. So this is the first steps. We can write here steps. Okay. The second step is says that shift or slide this one, slide it, shift the origin O to O with a distance of dn along z minus 1. So what we are doing, we are shifting it dn, we are shifting it from here to here. So z minus distance, so that xn minus 1 and xn becomes collinear. Okay, it becomes collinear. So this one, what we want, we are shifting it here from in dn so that this xn minus 1 and xn becomes collinear. Okay. So now we have reached here. So we have done 2 steps and we have reached here. Now third step we can take as move. This is link length an, shortest length an, move along xn. distance an, so that both the coordinate superimposed. So now we have moved further from here. We have moved further an, so that this O and now O and O dash is superimposed. Okay, so now O and O dash we have from here, we have come here in 3 steps. So now our this frame of reference is here. So this is Z minus n minus 1 we have seen, because this is, and this is Zn, and rest of the things are both have both are on the same both scheme. Like we can see origin has shifted from there, from here to here, but only orientation is now is different. So for making further so superimposing one on the other, what we have to do, one more step we have to do, and that is, so this step is rotating about xn axis, rotating about xn axis with angle alpha n, and we are rotating which one? So we are rotating about, so we can write here rotating with alpha 1 with reference to we have written about xn axis, and what we are rotating here, we are rotating a Zn axis, Zn minus 1 axis. So we are rotating Zn minus 1 axis. So we are rotating this Z minus 1 axis here, scheme like here. Okay. So now, so that Zn minus 1 and Zn axis superimposed. So what we have done, we have rotated this one with alpha n, so that both are superimposed. So already origin is superimposing, and orientation is also one axis, Z axis is superimposed. So accordingly xn axis, and so all the, it will be we can see that how to transform, like from one coordinate system here, one coordinate scheme to another coordinate stream, and in this way we can take it further 1 to 2, 2 to 3, so that we can write the suppose in the factor 6 degree of freedom, we want to know about the frame of reference of this one. Okay, then we can write according to the Indy factor frame of reference what is the position of this one. So we can, if we want to give the movement on any joint, then we know that it is with respect to Indy factor, its position is this one, so or acceleration is this one, velocity is this one. So accordingly, with the help of actuator, we can give that much acceleration or torque, whatever we want to give. So it's very much important, and it's not so straightforward. So there are some we can see that we have to go step by step. Okay, so here what we have seen, here we have seen two things. One is, what we are doing, we are moving this axis, okay, and then shifting along the axis. The second thing is moving the axis like theta n, and then shifting it xn minus, here say shifting is dn. Second thing what we are seeing here, link, we are shifting an, and then what we are doing, we are again aligning it according to this one Zn. So we are having alpha n, so an and alpha n here, and this is theta n and dn. So all these make 4 parameters. So it is called Dynavit-Hartenberg parameter. So what are the parameter? Now we can see here, and one more step we can write here. One more step we can write here, and that is the convention of writing this one is n. We are transforming from n minus 1 to n. So we can write here this is rotation about, first is rotation about z axis, right, the theta n, then rotate, then translation about translation. We are having 0 0 x y 0 0 and then dn, then again we are shifting, so then rotation translation about x, so this is an 0 0, and then we are having here rotation of with respect to x, and then here alpha n. Okay, so further we can write here, because we know how to write this one, so we can write here n minus 1 Tn, because we are transforming n minus 1 to n, so we can write here an also. Okay, and this one first, let's write this one. So this is, we know that how to write this one, so this is 1 0 0 0 0, then cos theta and sin theta and minus, and this is sin theta and then cos theta and 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1, and then multiplied by, this will be multiplied by transformation this one, so here it will be very easy, 1 0 0 1 0 0 1 0 0 0 0 and 0 0 0 1, and that's 0 0 0, and here dn, so this one will be dn. Third one will be, now let's write third one, again the same thing here, 1 1 0 0 0 1 0 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0, and this is here we are having this is dx, this is here we are having an, this is an, right, so this is, sorry, this is an 0 0 then 1, and finally we are having here this thing, so here 1 0 0 0 0, and then cos of alpha n and minus sine of alpha n and cos of n, then 0 0 0 0 0 0 1. So if we multiply these four matrices, homogeneous transformation matrix, we have what we have discussed earlier, so all these matrices if we multiply, then we can get this this complete transformation. Okay, so just what we have to do, we have to know these values, theta 1 and dn theta n, dn an and alpha n. So four parameters, if we know these, then we can easily find what is the relation between these coordinate system and this coordinate system, two consecutive coordinate system. Okay, thank you.